What if I told you that the single biggest risk to your offshore move is not in Dubai, it's not in Portugal, it's not even in your new country of choice, it's in Australia. And if you don't handle this one thing correctly, the ATO will unravel your entire plan, drag you back into the tax net, and hit you with years of back taxes, penalties, and interest. That one thing is a compliance letter. After years of working with business owners, investors, and high net worth Australians leaving the system, here's what I've seen. That most people think that exiting Australia's tax system is just a checklist. Close a few bank accounts, sell or rent out your home, get off the electoral roll, cancel Medicare, hire a migration agent, offshore lawyer or consultant in the country you're moving to, and they think, great, I've ticked all the boxes, I'm done. But here's the problem. Tax residency doesn't work like that. It's not about ticking a few boxes in isolation. It's about sequence. There is no single fixed list of criteria for determining non-residency. Instead, you must amass as many objective indicators as possible to convince the ATO or a court, if ever challenged, that you have genuinely left Australia for good and are not merely on a temporary working holiday or extended trip. And if you get the sequence wrong, the ATO can and will argue that you never actually left. At WellSafe, we take a completely different approach. We start where your real risk lies in Australia, because Australia is your legal domicile, Australia is your place of abode, and Australia is a country that will fight hardest to keep you in the tax net. That's why everything we do begins with compliance. We follow court rulings, ATO guidelines, and income tax rulings. We stay across what's coming out of the courts right now. And we have a team of licensed registered professionals, which includes tax lawyers, capital gain tax specialists, international planning experts, Australian tax accountants, a compliance team, and we have access to a vast network of registered international and global agents, all working together to bridge Australian and international law. Only once that's watertight do we move to stage 2, setting up your offshore structures, opening bank accounts, and making sure that the visa or residency you secure overseas is also 100% compliant back in Australia. And when all of that is in place, that's when we issue what we call the compliance letter. The compliance letter is your protection. It confirms in writing that you followed the correct process under Australian law at the time of your exit. We follow a clear sequence, step-by-step process to establish your non-residency, fully aligned with legislation, rulings, and case law. Every tie, every detail, every precedent is addressed. Nothing is missed.
Here's why that matters. Australian legislation gives you a safeguard. If you've sought independent professional advice and it's properly documented and signed off, you're protected from penalties. For example, those relating to reckless or careless breaches if the ATO ever challenges you later. In most cases, the outcome is that you'd only need to pay the interest.
A lot of people ask, can't my accountant just write one of these letters? Here's the truth. Most accountants don't bridge the gap between Australian law and international law. They don't know how to sequence an exit. They don't understand the offshore compliance requirements, which is a vital part of the exit. And offshore promoters, forget it. Cookie cutter setups that collapse under scrutiny. That's why you need a strategic tax advisor, someone who understands both sides of the bridge. You might be thinking, I'm never going back to Australia. Why should I care? But life happens. Family gets sick. Loved ones pass away. You fall out of love with where you've moved to, and suddenly you're back in Australia. If your compliance isn't locked down, the ATO will go digging. And if they find skeletons in the closet, it won't matter that you thought that you left. The compliance letter makes sure there are no skeletons. It proves you didn't just wing it, you did it properly. If you're serious about leaving Australia and protecting your global income, you need a compliance letter. It's the single most important document in your offshore journey and the linchpin that holds everything together. So here's what to do. Click the link below, book your free WellSafe assessment, and let us show you how to exit the Australian tax system legally, safely, and permanently. Because when it comes to the ATO, hope is not a strategy, compliance is.